When it comes to talking about some of the best wide receiver rooms ever, many point to the old school Miami Hurricanes, maybe the recent LSU teams, or the recent Alabama teams. As I've been researching and reading up for videos for the 2021 college football season, I have found that a lot of Ohio State fans think that this year's wide receiver room could be one of the best ever, and has the potential to break a ton of records and produce a ton of NFL talent. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Buckeyes wide receiver core, get to know each of the big names, and determine whether this idea is fact or fiction, and just talk about the wide receiver room and what each guy brings to the table. But first, if you love college football, I really need your help to grow this channel, so be sure to subscribe if you are new here, leave a comment and a suggestion on what I should do next or what you think of today's video, give the video a like if you want to support what I'm doing here, and turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now let's go ahead and get started and talk about the 2021 Ohio State wide receiver room. Ohio State has put some good wide receivers into the NFL over the past few years, with guys like Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin, and Curtis Samuel, and all those players have really made a name for themselves. That was of course during the Urban Meyer era though, but after the 2018 season, the Buckeyes handed the reins to Ryan Day, and his wide receivers coach has really made a name for himself on the recruiting trail, and is on a mission to get the best wide receiver position group in all of college football. You guys probably remember Brian Hartline when he played for Ohio State or for the Dolphins, but he has since become an elite recruiter and one of the better up-and-coming coaches in all of college football. But let's get back to today's topic. Last year, we saw Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson break out into stars, and both of them became first-team All-Big Ten selections. Wilson and Olave are both very talented wide receivers who are both probably going to be first-round picks in the 2022 NFL Draft, if I had to guess. But those are not the only guys in the mix for the Buckeyes, so before we dive into the stories of the 6 big names we need to talk about, you need to know the other guys. Jamison Williams, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Julian Fleming all showed major flash as freshmen last season, and that's before you add in the number 1 wide receiver from the 2021 class. Those are the 6 big names that we will focus on, but I do want to quickly highlight some of the other guys who could have been contributing to this. Jalen Gill was a 5-star athlete in the 2018 class who dreamed of playing for Ohio State, so when he committed to the Buckeyes, he expected to play, but unfortunately he didn't get a lot of playing time, so he left for Boston College, and he's actually played right away, and he's going to have a pretty good career there. Craig Young was a high 3-star wide receiver from the 2019 class who has recently moved to the defensive side of the ball. Cameron Babb was a top 100 player and was supposed to have a huge Ohio State career, but he has seen nothing but setbacks and injuries. Mookie Cooper was another top 100 player in the 2020 recruiting class, but he chose to transfer to Missouri, where he will be a high-impact player right away. Since I am a Mizzou fan, I am thankful for this loaded Ohio State room, so my Tigers can have him, and he's going to be a really special player. Finally, the Buckeyes will have 2020 4-star G. Scott Jr. and a pair of kids in the 2021 class that include Jaden Ballard and Marvin Harrison Jr., the son of the legendary Colts wide receiver. I expect those 3 guys to play down the road, but the 6 we're going to focus on today are Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Julian Fleming, Jamison Williams, Eka Egbuka, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. But let's first start with Chris Olave. He grew up in California and would eventually blossom into a big-time wide receiver prospect, with blue-chip quarterback Jack Tuttle throwing him the ball. Olave had enough talent to get an offer from Ohio State, and he committed to the Buckeyes. He was the number 54 wide receiver in the nation, and as a freshman, he caught 12 passes for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns, and showed flash for the future. In 2019, a ton of talented players had left the program, so he was forced to step up. He did so as he caught 48 passes for 840 yards and 12 touchdowns, and was named to the All-Big Ten third team. 2020 was another great season for him as he caught 50 passes for 729 yards and 7 scores, while going over the 100-yard mark 5 times and becoming a first-team All-Big Ten selection. He could have easily left for the 2021 NFL Draft, but he decided to come back, and many say he can potentially be the best wide receiver in the country. Garrett Wilson was a 3-sport athlete coming out of Texas, and even had Division I basketball offers. He was a 5-star wide receiver in football though, and chose to take his talents to Ohio State. As a freshman, he really wasn't anything special, but as the season went on, he got better and better, and started to emerge when they needed him most. He had a memorable catch against Clemson in the college football playoff, but they lost that game as we all know. He finished the season with 30 catches for 432 yards and 5 touchdowns, and was expected to have a big 2020 campaign. He started out hot as he went for over 100 yards in the first 4 games of the year, and even had 11 catches against Penn State. He cooled off the last 4 games, but still managed to finish with 43 catches for 723 yards and 6 touchdowns, and was named to the Big Ten's All-First Team. By comparison, Purdue's David Bell had 53 catches for 625 yards and 8 touchdowns in less games, but he isn't a big enough name to be on the list, and personally I thought it should have been Bell and Olave on that first team, and I thought Wilson was a second team guy, but what do I know, and Ohio State of course is going to get the leg up. I really do like Wilson though, and he'll likely be a trendy first round pick for the 2022 draft, but I feel like we need to see a little more production and consistency out of him. Julian Fleming is the guy many project to take the next step, and there is good reason for it. He was also a 3-sport athlete and broke a ton of state records in Pennsylvania. He was considered a 5-star prospect and the consensus #1 wide receiver in the nation, with some sites even having him as the top guy in the 2020 class at one point. As a freshman last year, Fleming saw limited time on the field as he only caught 7 passes for 74 yards and not a single touchdown. He definitely didn't have the freshman year that many probably expected, but he has the raw talent and work ethic to become the next big thing when he gets more snaps and opportunities. Jamison Williams is one of the older guys on the list, as he was a part of the 2019 class and was a big-time top 100 player coming out of the St. Louis area. He committed to Ohio State and actually caught 6 passes for 112 yards and a touchdown, so there was some hype for him to step up in 2020. He didn't quite break out the way that many expected him to, as he only caught 9 passes for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns, while appearing in basically every single game last year. Many expect him to either step up next year or get replaced by one of the younger, more unproven players, and I really like Jamison. Jackson Smith-Njigba had a very memorable one-footed catch in 2020, but that was expected as he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He was another super talented Texas kid who chose the Buckeyes just like Garrett Wilson did a year prior. As a freshman, he caught 10 passes for 49 yards and had that one memorable touchdown grab. He is the guy that many OSU fans are really excited about, and I think he definitely has a very high ceiling and will have a much bigger role in 2021. Finally, we have the wild card X factor of this. We have the guy I like to call the wild card X factor of this room, Emeka Egbuka. He was the #1 wide receiver in the class of 2021 and could easily have the talent to jump all the way up to the 3rd best playmaker on the team this year. After watching his highlights, this guy will be a star someday, and it's only a matter of time before he blossoms into a future first-round pick, but he's got 3 years ahead of him. So yeah, those are the 6 guys who will likely make up the 2021 Ohio State wide receiver room, and to say they could be the best ever is just a statement with really no backing so far except recruiting rankings. They have one ultra-productive player in Chris Olave, an inconsistent guy with superstar potential in Garrett Wilson, 3 young players who have shown flash but have really not done a whole lot so far, then they have an ultra-hyped player coming out of high school, and then a couple 4-star kids who could definitely become something down the road. Could they become the best wide receiver room ever? Maybe. It's definitely possible, but we'll need another year or two before we can really see if that happens or not, as Alabama's 2019 room is going to put 4 guys in the first round, and that means Chris Olave will need to go first round, Garrett Wilson will need to go first round, and then we'll need to see guys like Fleming, Smith-Njigba, and Egbuka all go in the first round as well for them to even come close to beating Alabama. We'll see what really happens though, and I love all these guys, and I look forward to watching them all this fall. OSU will have to figure some things out though, as they do need a new starting quarterback, and that battle will come down to CJ Stroud and Jack Miller, plus incoming 5-star freshman Kyle McCord. They also need a new running back, but 5-star recruit Travion Henderson should play right away, and they definitely have options in that department. I have no clue what this year's passing or offense will even look like, but I do know they'll probably put up points, and there'll be plenty of balls for these wide receivers to catch. But what do you guys think? If you're an OSU fan, let me know who you think is the best wide receiver on the team, and if you're just a fan in general, I'd like to know which one of these guys you like the best. Let me know another topic I should do next. Also, be sure to let me know who you think will start at quarterback and running back for the Buckeyes. Before you go, be sure to give the video a like if you want to support what I'm doing here on YouTube, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and check out all my other videos, including my video about the 2021 Ohio State quarterback room. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.